Today I'm going to go through the skin the cat. I'm going to go through the beginner to advanced options. So skin the cat is when we go in the straight arm position, ideally hang in. We pull ourselves upside down all the way through to the German hang, this bottom position, and then pull back out again. Now ideally the whole movement is done with straight arms, or there's bent arm progressions that will slowly get you to the straight arm, but it's seen as a SAS or a straight arm scapular strength exercise. Now it's a great exercise to do if you're working towards press handstand variations, because it counteracts all that pushing strength you're doing, and there's a lot more pulling involved in the skin the cat, but it's also straight arm strength, which is the same as the press. It's like doing chin up work if you're working towards handstand push-ups, because they balance each other out. So first of all, we need a conditioned position. So we need to get upside down on the rings. So we can either jump upside down like this and hang out in this inverted position, or if you're not comfortable in jumping up yet, you could go in for my German hang position. So the German hang is this way round, we turn through, we turn the hands over, so it's nice and comfortable, nice high hip, and then we jump, go upside down into that same inverted position. And we want to be able to come out with control. So we want to spend time upside down, and then we also want to spend time in the German hang, that bottom position. Now this is going to be a big shoulder stretch. Now the easiest way to get into it is palms down, let the rings come round, turn the hands over so palms are facing backwards, which is a little bit easier on the bicep. Now we can either have the rings low enough so knees are on the floor, or we can have toes on the floor, or if you're a little bit more advanced, you can do the same movement but lift the toes up. Now this is quite intense if you haven't done it before, so I would build time under tension first with the knees or the toes on the floor. Once we've done that, we can start to condition both sides. So let's start from that inverted position and first come down towards our toes. So I'm inverted. If you stay in a nice tight tuck, and then we'll just see if we can lower, ideally with straight arms, all the way to the floor. Now if you can't do that yet, how do we make it easier? So what we can do is we can take one leg over, one leg down, try and keep this leg pushing in the opposite direction, reach for the floor and come back down. Then we can do the same but the other direction. So I'm inverted, go into a tight tuck, reach the toes towards the floor, slowly come down, try and find the floor with the tip toes, keep lowering down to that German hang position. Once we've done that, we can start to condition the full movement. Now the full movement can be done backwards, so I can start in a German hang. Give myself a little jump if I need it, go upside down, split the leg to make it easier, toe touches the floor, go all the way down to that hang position. Now if I have it, I could jump back to that position and go all the way back over. Now I'm getting conditioning in both directions, but there's a little bit of a cheat at both ends. I'm using my toes to jump off the floor that way, and I'm using a foot to jump off the floor that way. So what we need to do is slowly fill those gaps so we have time under tension through the full range of motion. And that's where we can do the jumps to get up, or we can use the real slow eccentric back down to the floor. Again, a jump to get up, and then a real slow eccentric. I can use the arms, I could use the legs, you get tension against the arms, and slowly come down to that hang position. So then you're slowly getting stronger, you get more control on the down phase of each side, and you're cheating a little bit as you jump up, or you can use bent arms to get up. So if I'm here and I can't pull up like this, I could bend the arms and then pull myself backwards. But we want to slowly get rid of the bent arms, we want to slowly get rid of the jump, and that's just by doing those slow eccentrics on both sides, and then keep testing either on a smaller range of motion or from a dead hang position to see whether we can get up on both sides. Now once we have that controlled, we can test ourselves on the full movement. Now the full skin the cat is seen as being from a passive position here. Active position, pull your knees to your chest, go all the way through keeping the arms straight, all the way down to your German hang, and then pull back out, all the way back down to the start position with control, keeping the arms straight, back to that hang. So that's the full skin the cat version, but it's a tight tuck, which is seen as the easiest variation because the lever arm, the bit sticking out over here, is the shortest, so it's the easiest from a strength point of view. And that's how we slowly make that harder. We could do repetitions of that. We could go deeper into that German hang as our flexibility improves, or we can start to open the body out. So let's do that next. So think a tight tuck is when your knees are into your chest as close as you can get it, so the tightest ball as you can. So to make it harder, if we just start to take the knee away from the chest, keep the heels at the butt, or we start to open this gap up, that's going to put more weight in one direction. So let's do that from this hanging position. So instead of being in this tuck, I'm going to go to here, lock it in position, pull up. Notice I haven't changed all the way through the movement. Still staying in that open tuck position on the way back. Open tuck. Back down with control. Back to that start position. So you see there, this distance from my knee to my chest didn't change throughout the movement. That's the tricky bit when you first start playing with that harder progression, is you'll normally find at the sticking points where the hip's furthest away and you're parallel to the floor, you'll find that you'll cheat, not knowingly you'll bring your knees to your chest through that hard bit, and especially on the way back up on this side, you'll do the same thing. So I definitely recommend that you video from the side so you can see what's happening. And then we can just start to take the legs further and further away from the body. And a good place to get to is a half lay position. Now a half lay means we have fully open hips, so the knee isn't towards the chest anyway, it's furthest it can be away, but I have the knees bent, but I have this open hip. So glutes and abs on, it's like I don't have a hip, and I stay in that position. So again, from the hanging position, open hip, pull myself up. That's the tricky bit. Half lay to German hang. Now I could stretch out here, but I want to go back to half lay. Up. That's again the hard part. This bit, it's hard on the way down. You pass that front lever position, back to the start. Now that's a massive jump up from that tuck position all the way to this position, because it adds a lot of lever arm, it adds a lot of weight to the end of the movement. So I'm guessing, but it will normally take people around 6 to 12 months to make that type of progression. Now to start working towards the 360 pull, which is a straight body all the way around, you really need a better setup than this. I'm short, but if I put the rings up to where I would be hanging with a straight body, they would be up here. But you can see if I went upside down now, I'm going to hit my body against the bars. So you're a little bit restricted unless you've got somewhere where you can anchor the rings really high up. But I'll demonstrate as best I can here. So I'm going to go into a front lever pull, so try and have my body as straight as possible on the way up. I'll have to move my body out of the way as I come through the bars, but then I'll be able to open back out to a straight position, come past the back lever, go down to the German hang, pull back through, ideally with a straight body, leading with the heels, pass through the back lever again, and I'm going to have to go into a tuck to get past the bar, and then do the straight body front lever eccentric. As you can see, it wasn't perfect. I haven't been conditioning the movement so much recently, you can tell I'm out of breath. It's pretty tricky, but also the bar didn't help. So I recommend you video yourself from the side, have a play with those movements, try the German hang, see what your flexibility looks like, try the different variations of the concentrics, try the eccentrics, use the bent arm, use the jumps if you need to. Let me know if you have any questions down below. And if you want to work on another cool ring strength exercise, check out the muscle up here.